Hey anyone, I'm Hawk, and this is Talk of Better Worlds. Today, we're gonna do a list video of Warhammer 40k video games, because I've been a huge fan of Warhammer for, I think over 20 years, just over 20 years, or close to 20 years at this point. Got into it when I was very young, and I love the video games, I love the tabletop, I love the books. Haven't finished the entire Horus Heresy series yet, but I'm working on that. But the video games are really one of the bigger things that got me into the universe. So with Space Marine 2 having been out for a little bit here, I just recently beat it. It's incredible. I want to do a video game tier list for everything Warhammer 40k. So let's get into it. Starting off at the first one here, we have Necromunda, the Underhive Wars, which is this the... It looks like it's on here twice. This is a turn-based Necromunda game that it had kind of bad reception. It wasn't really great. Had a lot of potential, but was just squandered, I think. So I'm going to put this in sad, because I think it was a sad attempt. Next, we have Eternal Crusade, which was an online MMO, Warhammer universe game. I think some people still play it. I played it for about 30 minutes and was like, nah. So I'm gonna put this in Heresy, because that's kind of what it felt like playing it. But I'm never gonna go back to that, and I believe people still play it, and if that is true, it's kind of shocking. But next we have Warhammer 40k Lost Crusade. I've never played this one. It looks like it might have something to do with the Imperial Navy or something. I love the Imperial Navy and any ship-type games. So hopefully it's good. I don't know. It could be a phone game. Who knows? I know there's a lot of them. But next we have a hard one for me, because I love Dawn of War. This is the game that really introduced me to Warhammer 40k, along with a friend of mine at the time. He had the models, he showed me some of the models for 40k and Fantasy, and then I saw this game sitting on a shelf in, I think, a Best Buy, and picked it up, had my mom let me pick it up, and I played it non-stop for years. I'm still playing it sometimes. I'm actually going to go back and play the campaigns of all the Dawn of War games again. And I don't think they list any of the other Dawn of War games here. Oh, well, there's Dawn of War 3, Dawn of War 2, okay. So, Dawn of War 1, I'm going to consider this with all of its DLCs. Dark Crusade, and, what's the other one? Something Storm, I think. Soulstorm, that's it, Soulstorm. That, for me, is going to go into God Emperor tier, because it is still one of the best games ever made. I'll always love it, I'll always play it, and it's why I got into a hobby that I absolutely love and have loved for a long time now. But next we have Bolt Gun, which is an easy amazing. I love Bolt Gun. It's a boomer shooter, and it's got a Warhammer 40k coat of paint. You can't look at it from a lore standpoint, because it's kind of ridiculous that a single Space Marine, despite being a veteran, I believe a First Company veteran, it just doesn't make sense that he could do what he does in the game. But it's still really awesome, and it's just a great dumb time. And then we have Dawn of War 3, which, to me personally, was okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't sad or heresy. It was okay. It was disappointing. I wish that was a tier on here, like a special tier. It was disappointing, because we're talking Dawn of War. Dawn of War 1 and 2 are both incredible. I personally like 1 more than 2. But 3 was just a pretty big letdown. I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would, and it only has 3 factions. It's sad. But gameplay-wise, it was okay, I guess. At least when they updated it so you could do more like traditional RTS gameplay, because at launch it was kind of like a MOBA almost, like an RTS kind of MOBA. It was sad. But next we have Battlefleet Gothic Armada, which is, I'm gonna say great, and I put it in great and not amazing or God Emperor because it only has 2D movement. You could only go on a plane, which I understand that's how it is on the tabletop. There's no, up or down or height difference movement you could do, but it's a Navy game, and that a space Navy game, and that should be in there. It's not a ship, like water Navy game. It's a space game, so I want to be able to move my ships in any direction. And I think if we got a game like that, it would easily be a God Emperor tier for me. But as it was, I'm going to put it in great. The campaign was alright too, but I think they did a little better in the next one. But next we have Darktide, which I played a little bit of. I thought it was okay. I'm not a big fan of only online multiplayer games. I am a fan of co-op if it has to be online, like I love Helldivers. It's very rare that I find a game that is always online that I enjoy playing. And I enjoyed Darktide, but it felt kind of predatory with its monetization and its leveling systems, and it wasn't that great, so I'll put it in okay. Not as bad as Necromunda, though. But after that, we have Battle Sector, Warhammer 40k Battle Sector, which is an easy amazing for me. It was a sleeper hit. I saw it announced way before it came out, if I remember right, and thought really nothing of it. Just, okay, it's another probably mediocre 40k game. But when it came out, I played it, and I had a really, really good time with it. I like the nature of its turn-based combat, and I like how you could build up your army between missions, and the campaign progression feels really good. And then the DLCs, where you could have battles with different factions, including the Tau. The Tau, Orcs, Necrons, Demons of Chaos, which is kind of sad to me that they don't have, Warriors of Chaos, like Chaos Legions and whatnot. But all in all, a really good game. I'm going to put that in amazing, and it's easily in the same level as Boltgun. But after that, we have Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, which is God Emperor tier for me personally. I love the Demon Hunters. My dad actually played Demon Hunters, and I fought him as the Eldar a couple of times, and that was very, very difficult. So I gained a healthy respect of the Demon Hunters, the Grey Knights. The Grey Knight Demon Hunters, and to be able to play as them and kind of have like an XCOM type game, it's just something I've always wanted, and they feel very specialized and very unique, so it works for that. There are some flaws with the game, but it'll always be God Emperor tier for me personally, because it's just, as a package, it's just awesome. And next we have Gladius. I haven't played Gladius. I want to play Gladius, but I'm not a big fan of the Civilization type RTS games. They're just not my thing. I like 4X, grand strategy, but that specific niche of strategy games, I'm just not the biggest fan of. So, I don't know if I'll ever play it. And then there's Tacticus, which I think I've heard about before, but also never played. It just, I think I've seen it, and it just didn't appeal to me for one reason or another. But the next one, Inquisitor Martyr, that is an easy great. It's basically Diablo with a Warhammer 40k skin. And that's a great concept, and at first it was executed kinda iffy, but at the point that it's at now, it's a pretty good game. It's a good time, at least. The loot is cool. You get to play as different classes of Inquisitors, and it's just all around a good, bloody, fun time. And the story's alright, too. And next we have Fire Warrior. Warhammer 40k Fire Warrior. I played this on the PS2 back in the day, and it was a total mess. I love the concept of it. I like the Tau. This came out around when the Tau were pretty new. And I love the Tau. They actually have a huge army of Tau. It's tough to put it together, though. But they're a really cool race. They're a really cool faction, if not a little naive and kind of blind to the ways of the universe. But this game just didn't really get a good execution, and I think it could have been leagues better. So I'm going to put this in easy heresy. Next is Regicide, which is just chess with a 40k skin, and I'm going to put it in okay. Chess is cool and all, but I'm not a big, avid player of chess, but to have a 40k skin over it is pretty dope. Then there's Freeblade, which again, I haven't played. I'm pretty sure that's a phone game. You get to play as a knight, which is cool, but the phone games don't really appeal to me too much. And then there's Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, which is another God Emperor tier game. It took everything Battlefleet Gothic did and did it better. I still have the complaint that it's only a 2D plane, but outside of that, everything else is awesome. The campaign is awesome, the ships are awesome, the combat is awesome. It is such a cool Navy game for Warhammer 40k, and the Imperial Navy never gets enough love, so anything with them is going to be at least great, if not better. But then we have Dawn of War 2, which to me, now it's great. When I first played it, when it first came out, I would have put it in okay. I did not like the changes that they made from Dawn of War 1 into Dawn of War 2. I was not a fan of that at all. But having gone back and played it within the last couple of years, again, I think I'm still not too happy with the changes, but it's a cool game if you just kind of get over the fact that it's pretty different from Dawn of War 1. Pretty cool game. The DLCs are cool too. I like the multiplayer, and the skirmish mode is still terrible. I will always stand by that. It's absolutely garbage, but the campaigns were pretty cool, and I did enjoy them in, later years. And then we've got Space Marine, which I'm going to put this up here as Space Marine 1 and Space Marine 2, and they're God Emperor games. Space Marine 1 was the first game that I think we've ever seen that really captured the feel of being a Space Marine. Like when you walk, it just stomps and the ground shakes, and you sound like a tank with a gun, a machine gun in your hands. It perfectly captured that feeling of being a Space Marine. And Captain Titus is really cool, and then Space Marine 2, it's a brilliant game. And it feels like Space Marine 2 came out a decade and a half ago, but in the best way possible. It looks like it came out recently, plays like it came out a decade and a half ago, and I love that. It's straight from the golden age of gaming, in my opinion. And then there's Mechanicus, which I have played a lot of, but I will disclose I have not beaten. And from what I've played, I'm going to say it's great. I love the Mechanicus, but I'm not the biggest fan of the gameplay in the Mechanicus video game. So that's the only reason why it's great for me. The story seems really cool, the voice acting is really good, the music, if it were ranking this on just the music, it would be God Emperor tier alone. I mean, it slaps. The music is amazing in Mechanicus, but the specific style and way they chose to do the gameplay in that game just isn't my favorite thing. So that's the only reason why it gets a grade. I hope Mechanicus 2 is better in terms of gameplay, and it probably will be. And when Mechanicus 2 comes out, I will beat the first one before I inevitably buy it and play it, because it's Warhammer, so I have to. But next is Deathwing, which is the newer Deathwing, I believe. This is the multiplayer one, and I'm gonna put it in sad. It was just sad to me. It was another Warhammer 40 game with excruciating potential. I love the Dark Angels. I love the idea of Space Hulk, like 4 Terminators stuck in confined hallways with Terminids. It's got that alien vibe, and I love that. Well, alien with much bigger guns. And I absolutely love that, but I just think the execution was pretty terrible in this game in particular. And then we have Space Hulk Tactics, which to me was okay. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible or sad. Definitely wasn't Heresy. It was okay. And that's basically all I really have to say on that one. And then we have Hired Gun, which to me personally, it's like a Doom kind of looter shooter almost. I think it takes place in Necromunda, if I remember right. You're like a mercenary, and it's all right. I'm gonna put it also in okay. It's okay. The gameplay is all right. The story was kind of forgettable. I like the dog. You get a dog, and you get to, change his aesthetics and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Then we have Necromunda Underhive Wars again, which it goes again with its other copy in sad. And then after that we have Lost Crusade, which is another one I haven't played. Or look, it's a second time Lost Crusade. There we go. Okay, so I guess that goes with its copy. And finally we have Shuda's Blood and Teeth, which is an easy God Emperor tier. It's stupid, as any game involving the orcs as the main character should be. It's absolutely stupid, and I love everything about it. It's got a canon soundtrack, so the orcs play metal, and that's pretty dope. And it's just an all-around good dumb time. If you want to turn your head off, be an orc, and just, you know, have a fun side-scrolling shooter, it's perfect. So that's my tier list for Warhammer 40k video games, and I hope there's more coming out at some point in the future. I think Space Marine 2 has some big DLC that's been implicated. I won't spoil anything, but they're definitely not done with Space Marine 2. So it'll be exciting to see what comes next, and let us know what you think.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and dislike it if you didn't.
Let us know what you think about the channel.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Tell your mom.